Hey everybody, welcome to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. I am John Clark, and we have a Super Bowl rematch. Eagles are once again underdogs. That's not such a bad thing. They're coming off 2 straight wins. The Patriots are coming off that bad loss at Baltimore. Let's get this show started. A little tape study presented by Chickies and Pete's. Here is the head coach, Doug Peterson, with our own Ike Reese, some of the best plays from that win over the Bears.
It is second down and 12. Wentz in the gun. Wing to the near side. Slot to the far side. Wentz looking for the football. He fakes. He looks. He steps up. He fires complete. And it is a touchdown. Zach Ertz.
Joining us for this week's tape study is Eagles head coach Doug Peterson. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I know it's been a couple weeks. I'm coming off the bye week.
Yep.
Let's take a look back at some action from that last game versus the Chicago Bears you guys did offensively. Let's take a look at the first touchdown here to Zach Ertz. Now, this Bears defense, not known for giving up 20-plus yard plays. This was the first touchdown they allowed all year of 25 yards or more.
Yeah, this is a really good defense. And going in, we felt like obviously our work was cut out for us, offensively. And, our offensive line was really controlling their front for most of the game. And I feel like it's one of our staple plays. It's a good play design. It's built for a one-high safety right there, so that's what we're getting. So we're taking Dallas Goedert. We're clearing him out on what we call a deep cross route. And then we're just going to put man routes over here on the backside just to kind of hold the man coverage position there. And then we're really isolating Zach Ertz on the backside, in this case, backside corner. Sometimes it could be a safety or a linebacker, but, they don't play necessarily a lot of corners over. So it's one-on-one with 23 right there, which is Kyle Fuller, and he's a good DB.
Yeah.
So you give him his respect. This is one of Zach's favorite routes. This is one of Carson's favorite throws. It's just what we call a corner post. So he's going to run a corner post route with the corner in that position to kind of keep outside leverage on him. Does a great job there of just widening the DB. Carson's looking off to hold the safety going in that direction, and then he puts a nice, accurate throw to Zach for obviously the touchdown.
Nice throw, right on his body.
Right on the money, and again, it's a play we've used over and over in our offense, and it's become a staple for us.
And you guys have been running the ball real well with this guy right here, Jordan Howard. The job he's done, but really your guys up front, this offensive line really is starting to come together.
They really are, and this is a thing of beauty right here. This is zone blocking at its finest, and if you look at 79 here, just covering up this linebacker, I mean, it's a thing of beauty. And what Lane does, one-on-one with a backside tackle. We do a nice job here just kind of holding these two guys off as they combo this, and then we're just building a wall, for our 2-4, just a lane, an alley to run right down that hash. And this is well executed, well blocked. And then of course 39 on the backside, he wants no part of making that tackle. I think you and I could run through that hole.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 10 years ago. I tell you, this guy, I love the way he gets behind his shoulder pads. They're always square to the line of scrimmage. And like you said, he's going downhill. Guys on that back end making business decisions.
And there were plays in this game where we didn't block a safety. And by scheme, we couldn't get to the safety, and the safety's, filling the hole. And that's the one thing I love about 24 right now, Jordan Howard, is he's always falling forward.
Yeah.
Even on contact, he's moving forward, and he's a big, powerful back for us.
Now, big play here, critical drive, this last drive, a thing of beauty from your offense, converting 4 third downs on this single drive right here to salt away this game. And this was a crucial one right here.
This was big. And again, thinking in this game, anytime you cross this 50-yard line, you think the defense is going to kind of storm the castle, a little zero blitz. That's kind of what I was anticipating when I called this play. And so I wanted to get the ball out of Carson's hands and run this tight end screen. Obviously, the jet motion with Nelly right here to get guys moving just a little bit, sort of a window dressing, as we say, lipstick on a pig. And then you bury the play fake in there. So we've done some of this inside zone all day. So we bury the play fake. And then here comes Dallas Goedert, who's going to attack number 94. He's trying to displace 94, get him to rush and feel Carson with the ball. At the snap, when I saw 94 just kind of hang there, I was thinking this play is going nowhere, right? He's going to grab Dallas, which he does. But the one thing Dallas does on this play is he really gets separation on number 94. So you can see the separation there. Carson does a great job of throwing around this big, tall sucker here, number 95. And then you can see it right there. We got guys out in front. And then Dallas does the rest. Great block right here on this backer here to really get Dallas down the field and get the first down.
Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, a proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Let's go, me and you. Come on. Good handoffs. We're doing good. They can't stop us, bro. They can't stop us. Hey, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. We're about to go score again. Yes! Come on, man. Let's go win this game for him. Come on. Me and you. Hey! Pull that up today, bro.
All right, let's talk about Zach Ertz getting heavily involved for the first time this year. Mike Quick joining us now. And Zach Ertz had season highs with 9 catches and over 100 yards for the first time this year against the Bears. How was he able to get open so much?
Well, this is perfect design. And with no D-Jack on the field, they have to rely more on Zach Ertz. And watch this design. They know that they've got man coverage, 3 over 3. They're going to take this guy, get him across the field. This guy is head up on Zach Ertz. He widens this guy. And then on this angle route, as he goes up the field, he comes wide open. It's a 4th and 2 situation. It's a gotta-have-it situation. And they're able to scheme up the perfect design and get him the football in an open space with that little trail technique behind those 2 receivers. And it's an easy pitch and catch for the quarterback.
Enemy Intel is brought to you by Rothman Orthopedics at Jefferson Health, the official orthopedics and healthcare partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
As Mike just showed us, Zach Ertz is a big part of the Eagles' passing game. And you know what? Bill Belichick knows that too. So keep one thing in mind. In the NFL, coaches coach against other coaches. And that brings us back to Super Bowl 52, a big moment in Philadelphia. I know it seems like a long time ago with a lot of football having been played, but you go back to that game, and what did Bill Belichick do in critical 3rd down situations? He was looking to double or bracket Zach Ertz, because Zach Ertz was the player he was most concerned about in those situations. So we're going to take a look at 2 plays. The first, everyone will remember. It was a Corey Clement touchdown in the 3rd quarter. Now you'll notice Clement will shift into the backfield. That tells the Eagles it's man-to-man, and that's the foundation coverage for Bill Belichick even in 2019. But the key here is Ertz. Ertz is going to be doubled or bracketed, and they take Devin McCourty, number 32, who's normally the free safety, and he is part of the bracket. But of course, what that does, yes, you may take Zach Ertz out, but on this particular play, you get one-on-one with Clement, and this was a big play in the game. But it all resulted from the fact that Zach Ertz was bracketed because he's the player that Bill Belichick viewed as the most important in that situation. Now let's go later in the game. This was the final drive, the game-winning drive for the Eagles, the Zach Ertz touchdown. You'll notice that Zach Ertz is split wide to the left side of the formation. Corey Clement is offset in the backfield to the same side. Now you'll notice one thing here. Look where Duron Harmon is. Duron Harmon is in position to potentially bracket and double Zach Ertz. But what happens? You see Corey Clement motion hard and fast away from that side to the other side of the formation, bringing 4 receivers to that side, something you rarely see. And Duron Harmon, he goes with him. What does that do? It isolates Zach Ertz one-on-one on Devin McCourty. And we know that the Eagles will take Ertz isolated one-on-one against anybody, a safety, a linebacker, a corner, it doesn't matter. And this was the game-winning touchdown. So how did we start this? Coaches coach against coaches. Doug Peterson knows what Bill Belichick likes to do on third down, and we showed you 2 third-down plays. It's very possible Belichick could bracket Zach Ertz again, and it will be something to look for as the Eagles match up to the Patriots.
It's fun bringing out that video, watching the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And I think things are aligning here with the running game because the Eagles, of course, they've got that running game going, over 200 yards against the Bills, 146 yards against the Bears. And we saw what happened to the Patriots defense, giving up over 200 to the Ravens. The week before, they gave up a $159 on the ground to the Cleveland Browns. Can the Eagles successfully run the ball against the Patriots this week?
I think they have to look at what the Ravens did. Though it's a different offense, they have to control the line of scrimmage. And, you know, you've got an offensive line that they have continuity. They work together for a lot all season long. These guys have been together with the exception of Jason Peters. But the young guy, Andre Dillard, doing a great job in there. This offensive line, they can run the football on anyone, I believe, and they can control the line of scrimmage. That's where it all begins.
And I think the probably main thing for this team is going to have to be being patient, right? You have to anticipate Bill Belichick and that defense coming up with some sort of different scheme.
Always.
That's a prideful man over there, and the fact they've had the ball run on them the way they had the last 2 weeks, they're certainly going to want to give you a different look. And they have players up front, guys like Lawrence Guy, Danny Shelton. I mean, you look at the linebackers, Hightower, Kyle Van Noy. These guys are playmakers. They fly around the football. And I think even if you're not having success early running the football, you can't abandon it. You got to stay patient with it, and eventually those cracks will be there. The running backs have to be able to take advantage of them.
All right, one final question for you. Bill Belichick, he loves to blitz. Against Carson Wentz, the way this offense has been working, do you think Bill Belichick's going to go after Carson with the blitz?
He's always going to come up with something different, but I do believe in that something different, he will still try and blitz Carson, but Carson just has to be smart, know where to go with the football, know where you're not protected. You got to know where the protection isn't. So if they're bringing somebody and you don't have a guy there to protect, you got to know to get out of that play or get rid of the football.
Yeah, pre-snap recognition is going to be key. There's going to be some looks that Carson hasn't seen. That's just the genius of Bill Belichick. You give him 2 weeks to prepare for your team. He's going to give you some different looks that you're not comfortable with. Mike mentioned earlier about man-to-man coverage. It's really going to boil down to when those blitz happens, Carson has to recognize where the advantage is for him versus those coverages and then get the ball out on time. But those receivers are going to have to beat their defenders at the line of scrimmage, and Carson's going to have to be able to find exactly where to go with the ball and deliver a good throw.
All right, Ike Reese. I think Jim Schwartz has put some things on tape. What he did against the Bears that the Patriots are going to have to pay attention to. What are some of the things he did with the defensive backs to kind of confuse the Bears offense and maybe have the Patriots thinking this week?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing in the last couple of weeks from Coach Schwartz and with his personnel package, he's starting to discover how versatile and flexible he can be with the personnel he has available to him. So when you have all your guys back, right, we are a big nickel and dime type of personnel team. Nickel is 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers at times. Dime, you can have 6 defensive backs, 1 linebacker out there on the field. But the way we've run our dime in the past is we've used 3 cornerbacks and 3 safeties. But I mentioned, with everyone back fully healthy, Jim Schwartz can sort of go to 4 defensive backs with 2 safeties. And I love what he did here against the Chicago Bears offense. You get him in a 3rd and long situation, and you got man coverage across the front here, right? You got a single high safety there, and you got man coverage. Now, Darby likes to play off. We got a little bit of pressure going here, so he wants to be able to read the quarterback's eyes, even though he's in man coverage there, but he wants to be able to break on the ball. I like the fact that you got these guys up challenging the wide receivers at the line of scrimmage. Look how Jalen Mills is on Trey Burton there. You got Avonte Maddox over there, and then you got Rasul out here on the outside. And with a little pressure up front here, this forces Mitchell Trubisky to hold on to that ball. So the idea in playing this type of personnel package with the 4 DBs out there, you're going to get a chance to get up and challenge the wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, which is going to force the quarterback to hold the ball a little bit longer, which in turn is going to give that front the opportunity to get to the quarterback and get a sack on him.
That 4-corner dime that the Eagles played a lot against Chicago was a big look for them and a bit of a change. And you'll see that, I imagine, again on third down. Now, when you play the Patriots on third down, the player you really have to deal with is back James White. He's their leading third down receiver. And White lines up all over the formation. We're going to start with him offset in the backfield. Now here he's playing against Buffalo. Now Buffalo is not a dime team, they're a nickel team. So as White runs this vertical route, he gets matched up against a linebacker, Matt Milano, and he's able to win down the field, track the ball beautifully for a 26-yard gain. White can beat you on vertical routes, both out of the backfield and attached. So now we're going to see him again on third down. Here, he's the #1 receiver to the boundary in an empty set. And empty sets are something the Patriots use a lot of, and you will see that against the Eagles. So what do you get here on third down? You get White running a pivot route back outside, beating Mark Barron, a linebacker. Another first down for the Patriots. Now, because James White is such a critical matchup, and if we think back to Super Bowl 52, when he was just as important to the Patriots, in that game, Malcolm Jenkins predominantly matched up to White. We could certainly see that again in the four-corner dime that the Eagles are now deploying. But when all's said and done, if you're going to play man-to-man, and the Eagles have done a lot more of that in their last two games, then you must address James White on third down. He is the key receiver for the Patriots on that down.
All right, the Patriots offense averaging 30 points a game, second best in the NFL. Tom Brady hasn't been sacked that much, only 16 times this year. He is so smart with that. He knows where the pressure is coming. So what can the Eagles do, especially Jim Schwartz with that front, to pressure Tom Brady, kind of like the Ravens did?
I think over the last couple of weeks, and especially last week, teams are starting to see how they can break down the protection and get hits on Tom Brady, and that's going to be real important. He has this thing called functional mobility. He can't run, but he can avoid those hits in the pocket because he's mobile. What the Eagles have to do is get pressure in his face, because he's not a guy that's going to run side to side and make plays, but when that pressure's coming on the outside, he's very good at stepping up into the pocket, extending that way, and getting the ball down the field.
And like with most good quarterbacks in this league, and this one is the best to ever do it, you don't want to give him too many blitzes, right? Because the more players you take out of coverage, it makes it easier for him to read where he wants to go with the football, and he can kill you with going up against the blitz. But here's what you do want to do. You want to be able to mix it up, right? And when you get pressure with that front four, sometimes it could be the games that you run up front. Yep. You know, the big sack that Brandon got on him in the Super Bowl, it was due to Brandon and Fletcher deciding to switch up some things in the inside that they had recognized and take advantage of it that way. But I think the key thing is your coverage on the back end. If you can force him to hold on to the ball by making sure that you got good coverage on that back end, this defensive line will get to Tom Brady. They are good enough. They are, in my opinion, better than this Patriots offensive line, but you got to have good coverage on the back end.
And does that play into the Eagles' hands with what they're able to do on third down a lot, moving Brandon Graham on the inside? And we saw some of those stunts, great stunts, where you had Derek Barnett kind of looping around, and then he got that free shot up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to give them different looks. And I love the fact that our guys are versatile enough to be on the outside or inside when it comes to playing that D-line, and they're comfortable with doing it. And there's enough games up front, and they're quick enough at doing it that it causes confusion amongst the offensive line.
I think the addition of Avery now as a pass rusher and the things that they can do with him, I think that adds to getting pressure on Tom Brady. And a lot of that middle pressure, Timmy Jernigan's healthy now. Yeah. So you've got a guy to go along with Fletcher Cox on the inside in those A gaps. And when you can loop a guy like Avery in there or BG and get all of this different commotion and movements going on, that's when you can win.
All right, we gave you the game plan for the Eagles to beat the Patriots. Hopefully the Birds can get Zach Ertz open again, and you got to pressure Tom Brady. For more X's and O's breakdowns, check out our Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast. And thanks for watching this Super Bowl rematch edition of Eagles Game Plan, presented by Toyota. Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, a proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.